Now, it's very common to come out of a narcissistic relationship being filled with anger and frustration and bitterness and resentment. But why? Is it because you dealt with somebody who's mean, cruel, nasty, and delusional and crazy? Yeah? Probably not. Not so much. I mean, the reality is we deal in this world with crazy, mean, delusional people all the time. You can go to the grocery store checkout and deal with that. But it's not going to leave you feeling angry and resentful and bitter. But in my coaching career, here's what I've discovered. The one thing that keeps people feeling anger and bitterness and resentful coming out of a toxic relationship has less to do with the bullying, mean cruelty of the narcissistic people, and it has more to do with the things that you did. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the love that you poured into the relationship, or at least tried to pour into the relationship, the effort that you gave, the constant giving that went into a never-ending black hole, returning nothing back to you. You were neglected, rejected, demeaned, and devalued as you exhausted yourself. You depleted your love. You gave everything that you had to give. Essentially, you've come out of the relationship emotionally and mentally bankrupt. That's right, the narcissistically abusive person has bankrupted you. Mentally, emotionally, physically, and sometimes even financially. In this message, what I want to share with you is 3 simple ways that you can re-understand the love that you have to give and how to give it. How to invest your love wisely by understanding the love that you have to give. Because this will protect you from ever being resentful of the love that you've given again. Not only that, but it's going to protect you from narcissistic abuse as well. Let's talk about living a life where you can love without resentment. There's 3 forms of love that I'm going to encourage you to look at heavily. The first form of love that you can start to implement in your life is that of reciprocal love. Reciprocal love. You give love because you're receiving in return. We're going to talk more about this. The next form of love is overflowing love. You're overflowing with love, and so you're okay to allow it to spill out onto other people. That's the second form. The third form of love that you can implement in this life is sacrificial love. But this one has to be done carefully. And so we're going to touch on that. And then at the very end of this message, I'm going to share what all of these forms of love that you have to give have in common that's going to empower you to never again experience resentment as a result of the love that you've given. Let's go. My name is Kevin. This is The Royal We. Before I do continue with this message, I want to let you know that I'm here to support you. Down in the description box, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. So if you are coming out of a toxic relationship and you feel angry, you feel bitter, you're full of resentment because of the love that you have wasted, listen, don't reach out to those narcissistic people. You will never get what you've lost from them. Contact me instead. I will help you to resolve and to understand exactly what you've lost and how to start to build your account of love back up. I'll work on this with you. So head on down there, schedule this time with me right now. Also, I do have a coaching program. My coaching program is live and in person. So if you are interested in a group setting, a coaching program where you can work with me each and every day because it is live, consider joining the Royal We Coaching Program. We're working out of a journal and a diary to help you keep on track in 2024. And if you join right now, by the way, I am going to send you my custom handmade artwork. I designed this myself. It's my own finger painting, if you will. And I will give it to you, send it to you so you can put it on your phone home screen. It's an excellent reminder of who you are because you are the Royal We. So join the Royal We Coaching Program and get your home screen. Now, let's dive right in, shall we? The first form of love that I want to encourage you to start operating out of, again, there's 3 of them. Very simple to understand. The first one is reciprocal love. Everybody say this with me. Reciprocal love. This should be your intimate relationships. This should be your most important relationships. It had better be reciprocal. Reciprocal dictates that you give because you are receiving. It's fair, it's balanced, it's equal. You give because you are receiving. I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine you go into a casino and there is this slot machine, and you sit down, you put your quarter in, you pull that lever, and boom, it gives you $1. And you do it again. You put your quarter in that machine, you pull that lever, and it spits out another $1. You put your quarter in, pull that lever, it gets you $1. Let me ask you a question. Would you ever leave that slot machine? No. Why? Because you found gold. Every time you put a quarter in, you get $1 out of it. And it doesn't matter how old you get, doesn't matter how old that machine gets and how decrepit it becomes, as long as you put a quarter in it, hit that button, pull the lever, and it spits out $1, you're good. And you're not sitting there doing it because you're expected to. You're not sitting there putting your quarter in because it's the right thing to do. You're not putting your quarter in hoping that one day it's going to pay you out. No, you're doing it because you want to. You want to stay there. You want to invest that quarter because each time you do, you're getting $1 in return. Now, translate this over into your intimate relationships. You should, in your intimate relationships, whether it's marriage or your lover, you should want to invest your quarter. Wake up in the morning, imagine, with your lover next to you. No, I'm not letting you go to work yet, hun. Not until I invest my quarter into you, because I know what I'm getting back each and every day from you. And you want to invest. You want to devour that person with your love. You want to pour in your love. Why? Because it's coming back to you, not next week, not in a future faking month, not next year, but it's coming back to you that day, each and every day. You're going to want to stay no matter how old you become together. You're going to want to push that love button because you know it's bringing you a return. A lot of people have a hard time with this reciprocal love. Some of you are probably shaking your heads right now saying, Kevin, it sounds like a business transaction. What you're talking about is transactional love. And I don't want to love transactionally. Oh, shut up. Yeah, it is transactional. But look at the opposite. You've come out having exhausted yourself and depleted yourself, and you're angry and bitter and resentful. So who are you to talk bad about a transactional form of love? Businesses operate through reciprocity, through transactions. And let me ask you a question. Why should businesses and their dollars be more protected than your heart? What does that say about society when businesses operate safer than you do with your body? Because you've been told, oh no, just give of your love. Don't expect anything in return. Listen, there's a place for that, and we're going to get to that. It's in the next one, overflowing, all right? But when it comes to your intimacy, no. You don't invest in hopes of next year something good happening. No. You give of your love. You give of your energy. You give the best parts of you because you know that it's spitting out exactly what you need it to on a daily basis. All right? And obviously you have to watch out because just like in Las Vegas, there's a lot of slot machines that are all razzle-dazzle and fancy and make all kinds of noise. Win $10 million, 10 times payouts, right? And you put a quarter in and you pull that lever and bloop, 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 nothing. That's okay. Play again. People can sit there in these machines and put quarters in, listening to all the bells and whistles, and never win anything, never get anything in return. This is typically what happens in your toxic relationships. You met somebody who's all the razzle-dazzle, future faking. Stay with me. I'll retire you. I'll make you famous. Oh, blah, 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 whatever. All this stupid nonsense. I'll make your dreams come true. And you start putting your quarters in. And as the days go by, you're not getting anything. Before you know it, you've depleted your love. You've exhausted your account. Bankrupts. Right? The rule of reciprocal love states, just to wrap this up, you give because you're receiving. Not receiving next week, not receiving next year, you're receiving now. There's nothing wrong with reserving your love intimately for that which gives back now, baby. And that will keep you happy and wanting to give. Equally yoked, back and forth, the rest of your lives. Now, moving on. Let's move to the next one, which is overflowing with love. Everybody say this with me, overflowing with love. Overflowing with love dictates that you are so full of a certain type of love that it's spilling out of you. So there's enough to spare. There's enough of this love to trickle on down. Imagine water pouring from you, coming out of you, and it's nourishing people around you. And you don't need anything from the people it's nourishing because it's just coming out of you. This, by the way, is the love of Jesus. This is what's referred to as agape. It's this universal love. Jesus operated in this life out of who and what he is. He's overflowing with teaching, with healing, with power, so much so that some woman just grabbed onto the robe and was healed. He's overflowing from what he is. He doesn't need anything from the people he's overflowing to. Now, you can be at this place. You can have this love to give. We all do. Now, there's two ways you can have this form of love. Either you're so in tune with yourself and your creator and your spirituality and you need nobody else. You're just overflowing with that, with your higher power and whatever, that you're able to give this love, and that's fine. The only other way to be overflowing with love is to have that reciprocal love already established that is filling you up every day. Remember, you put a quarter in, get $1 back. You're becoming richer and richer and richer. You're becoming more full and full of love as a result of that healthy relationship, that reciprocal relationship. And now, as you're full, automatically you're going to be overflowing. Yeah. Let me give you another image of what overflowing looks like. Imagine you go into a deli and you buy a sandwich because you're hungry and you decide you're going to get another sandwich to save for later, right? You walk outside and you see somebody who is starving, homeless, and hungry. And you look and say, I've got 2 sandwiches. And Home Slice here has none. You know what? I really don't need a second sandwich. I'm overflowing with sandwiches right now. Here, eat. This is overflowing. The principle here that I want to share with you is that in order to have overflowing love, you have to be overflowing. It has to be overflowing. You can't pretend it's overflowing. You can't pull from a dry well. And that's what typically a lot of empaths, you, myself, we've done this. We try living out of an overflowing love, even though the well is empty, either because we don't have a reciprocal relationship or we're not in tune enough with ourselves. And so we overgive. This is where you get into the territory of exhausting yourself and depleting your account because you're actually not overflowing. The rule of overflowing love states and dictates that you must be overflowing. If you don't have it, you don't give it, period, end. There's no room for pretend here. I have a really good, close personal friend who wanted to be a missionary. Went off to Haiti. I was a supporter. And this person had these high hopes of arriving in Haiti and helping these people build their mud huts and houses, whatever they were building. He had high hopes of the resources just showing up. It's kind of like, if you build it, they will come. His mentality was, if I take the steps and arrive, then everything's just going to show up. He wasn't overflowing. He didn't go having all of the resources. He was hopeful that the resources would be there. They weren't. So he got involved, started building these habitats and whatnot, and the resources dried up. There wasn't enough bricks. There wasn't enough mud or whatever to put together what they had to do. He became very angry and bitter and resentful. The right intentions, but not overflowing. Again, overflowing love. The rule is, if you're not overflowing, don't do it. You can't pretend. Only give that with what you have in excess of. Don't give and don't attempt to give what you don't have. If you don't have the time to spend with those toxic people, don't do it. If you don't have the mental faculties to be exhausted by their narcissistic rants and raves, then don't give them the time of day. But if there's a time where you are filled with extra love, extra patience, extra peace, because you're filled with that in your life, then perhaps you can take a phone call from them narcissistic family members of yours or in-laws and say, how you doing? You know, you're not going to bother me. I'm full of love. Whatever you got. How you doing? How's your day? Are you good? All right. But like I said, there's no pretending. You have to be filled. Last but not least, let's talk about sacrificial love. Sacrificial love. Now, I'm going to touch on this one because this one's deeper. This one's a little bit more delicate. Now, we tend to fall into this place of believing in sacrificial love. I'm going to sacrifice myself, and it's unconditional, and blah, 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 blah. And it's absolutely nonsense. Sacrificial love is a thing. Sacrificial love states that you give in a way that is painful for you to give, and it hurts for you to give. And it may be even unfair. But the rule of sacrificial love is that it's only temporary. A lot of people would say, Kevin, Jesus' love was sacrificial. Yeah, for 3 days only. 3 days. Jesus was beaten, hung on a cross for 3 days in a display of sacrificial love. That's it. It's a short-term assignment. A lot of people think that that means that you're supposed to live sacrificially in your love for 10 years, 15 years in pain and in agony. So you can be like Jesus. Jesus only lived sacrificially for 3 days, folks. Sacrificial love is a temporary assignment. Maybe you have to be by somebody's hospital bedside even though you don't want to. Maybe you have to give us something that you really don't want to. It's a temporary assignment. That's the sacrifice. It's not supposed to be your lifestyle. And that's really all I'm going to say about sacrificial love. It's okay to give sacrificially. It's okay to love when it hurts, so long as it's temporary. Now, I know that this is a message that a lot of you need to hear, and I hope that it's changing the way you implement the love you have to give in your life. And as I said before, if you have questions, I'm here to support you. Down in the description box below this video, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments. So head on down there, schedule some time with me. You're not going to get the answers. You're not going to get things back that you poured into the toxic relationships, but I will help you. So head on down there, schedule some time with me right now. Consider joining the Royal We Coaching Program. If you're brand new to the Royal We channel, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any future videos. And I'll be back with more right here on the Royal We. And before I leave, check out one of these videos recommended by the YouTube algorithm because it knows what you've been watching. And I know that sounds weird, but it's honestly helpful for you. So check out one of these videos. It's going to impact your life, hopefully in a positive way. I'll be back right here on the Royal We. Hey, don't forget to join the coaching program and get your phone home screen. All right? Bye.